Funding for Off 90 is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
Cruising your way on this episode of Off 90. We take in a little square dancing. We visit an artist and studio furniture maker in Winona. We see a concert that mixes a symphony orchestra with the experimental sound of an avant-gard country band. And we explore the Vintage Band Festival in Northfield. It's all just ahead, Off 90. Hi, I'm Barbara Keith. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Off 90. A square dance is a dance for four couples who form the sides of a square. The dance form came to North America with the European settlers and has undergone considerable development since then. Most people are aware of square dancing, possibly due to its association with the romanticized image of the American cowboy. We met with a group from Rochester that is keeping square dancing alive.
Brother jukebox, sister wine.
We enjoy square dancing for a lot of reasons. I'd say one of the things that's amazing exercise.
Our man left and leave the ring since you left me.
It also causes you to use your brain. You got a lot of calls. You got to be able to do them right away.
The only family I got to laugh.
And then if it doesn't work out, it's still fun with all the people that you get to dance with.
Four hands round the ring, go step away, swing through.
Square dancing is a truly American activity. It goes all the way back into the mid-1800s. I'm Monty Gensler, and I am a square dance caller.
Ferris wheel, pass through, swing that lady.
Each tip is divided into two songs. One is usually called a pattern song, where the caller will just walk people through different steps, different moves.
Step away, swing through. Boy, run. Your Ferris wheel.
Then usually the second song is a singing call, which we'll take a piece of music, edited to fit the square dance genre.
Turn that girl. Someone square through four hands.
Then we incorporate calls and movements into that song.
Step to a wave, swing through everyone. Let the boy run right. Couple circulate.
We started out with just 5 or 10 calls that people did, and now in the mainstream level where we dance tonight, we have 68 calls.
You work your way around that ring, you find your gal promenade.
And each one of them, the caller puts into a certain position, will work you into, take you out of.
Now the four ladies chain across the ring you go.
So hopefully at the end of the song, you are back with your partner and back at your home position.
Do an element left. Promenade your gal back home. There you go.
It's like walking 5 miles. It's good exercise for old people like me.
Well, it's just plain fun. It's good, clean fun. And actually, I entered it as a single person, and it was safe socializing for a single person. Ironically enough, that's where I met my husband, Bill. It was supposed to be carpooling to other square dances, but after a few months, it wasn't carpooling anymore.
Do an element left. To your partner, right what land you go. You work your way around that ring. Find your gal there you go.
We typically dance probably an average of 3 nights a week. We try to get to just about every club that dances. We dance with Seal Steppers in Owatonna, Grapevine Twist in Albert Lee. Wednesday night we were over at La Crosse with the Happy Twirlers.
And it's a lot of fun, and I love music, especially, Johnny Cash.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Alaman left that corner, turn your partner by the right hand. Alaman left that corner, then you weave around the ring.
We have everything from Amazing Grace all the way to Sweet Home Alabama.
And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
So everybody face your partner. We're going to do what's called a do-se-do. Do-se-do is about 5 steps. Square dancing is relatively easy to learn.
So your right shoulder with your partner. Next step, you'll be back to back.
There's a lot of new artists and new recording companies that are really on the cutting edge of converting new music to bring in new and younger people into dancing.
Alaman left and weave the ring since you left me by myself. You're the only family.
It's really the most fun of all the things I think I've ever done.
Follow the partner on the corner. Great dancing, everybody.
Jamie Schell moved to Maui with the goal and desire of becoming an artist and studio furniture maker. Jamie has since been making furniture, custom architectural features, sculpture, and wall-hanging art professionally for the past 12 years. We paid Jamie a visit at his shop in Winona.
I've heard it said that aloha is indescribable. You can't define it with words. You have to live it, you have to experience it. And you know, even here now, being very aware of my place and where I'm at, that I still try to put as much aloha as possible into everything I make. I'm Jamie Schell. I'm a studio furniture maker and a sculptor. That's how I would define myself and what I do as work. A definition of studio furniture maker, basically meaning that the furniture is made in a studio, not a production type shop where you're you know, replicating and punching out, you know, pieces. Because it is in a studio, it's related to the arts. It's not about production. It is about, you know, the art, the creative aspect of it, when you get moved and what comes out of that, you know, inspiration. You know, the studio furniture is a very meticulous thing. You know, every detail. The craft is at the heart of it, certainly. So you're paying attention to every single detail, meticulous, tight joints, you know, but also paying attention to the curves, being everything perfect, the wood grain. It's really meticulous. So the sculpture has come to me from fatigue of the meticulous stuff. You know, I'll spend 2 months on a piece of furniture and I'm working every single detail, and I need this release. So quite often at the same time I'm building furniture, I will turn around, walk over and work on a sculpture, which the sculpture I do is a lot more free-form. It's a lot of discovery. It's laying down textures on surfaces and sculpting and different colors and putting things back together in sort of a collage form. On a trip to Hawaii, I stayed an extra week. And on the island of Maui, I came across some studio furniture makers. And I saw that and I just said, wow, you know, there's people that are able to make these things that were meticulous, but really beautiful and really creative. And I just said, that's what I want to do. So I wrote a resignation letter and said I'm moving to Hawaii to become a furniture maker. Finally, we've made the decision that we were going to move back to the Midwest. And it's a great decision. I mean, it truly is. It's, you know, I miss Hawaii dearly, as does my wife, but, you know, we hold a lot of that still with us, and it guides us, and our son is very happy to be around family and relatives as well. So it's a driving thing for me. I really appreciate when I hear it, is people say, oh, my grandpa used to do woodworking, or my father used to do woodworking. A whole generation is missed between the person that they know that used to do woodworking and them. It's like there's a hole in there where it's not done anymore. To me, that's kind of the writing on the wall, saying, you know, this is something that not many people are doing, and it's like if you don't kind of buckle down and hold tight and keep it alive, I think it has potential to just become more and more rare and go away. It hasn't always been easy. Being an artist is not easy. You know, it takes a very supportive spouse or partner, if you have one of those, but also supportive that she also appreciates what I do, and she enjoys it, and she, you know, encourages me to keep doing it and working hard. So yeah, so I think I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Old school meets new school in a concert at the Paramount Theater in Austin. Galactic Cowboy Orchestra is an avant-garde country band that sprinkles progressive rock and jazz into their music. The Austin Symphony Orchestra performs classical music. Both groups met on stage, with the Austin Symphony's strings and brass filling out the sound of the four-piece Galactic Cowboy Orchestra.
Space helmets and cowboy boots.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm Lisi Wright from the Galactic Cowboy Orchestra.
And Steve Ramsey from the Austin Symphony Orchestra. I heard her band and thought the music was really interesting and lent itself well to being orchestrated with very interesting and wonderful chord progressions, and thought, why not? Let's try this. The standard for a conductor is send me a score and a recording. So I got this wonderful package of information, and it sat on my desk for 18 months, whatever. And then one day I said, ooh, let's listen, and away we went. It was absolutely amazing stuff. Music that has depth of quality, it has lends itself to being orchestrated, it has interesting melody lines, room for added orchestral parts. It has what I call headroom. It has room within it that calls for orchestration. It needs to be bigger, grander. What an orchestra can bring.
Gypsy Grass Jump is one that Dan Neal, our guitar player, wrote for Prairie Home Companion originally, and then he brought it to the band, and we just moved a few things around to make it a little more galactic. Were you terrified writing those scores out, like the raga? Mm-hmm. That seemed like such a monster accomplishment to write that out.
Yeah. You gave it to me in 4/4, and the piece isn't in 4/4. And
We always used to joke it was in 1.
No, it could be. It could be in 1, but it's not. So I'm in 4/4. All the events, all the principal events happen off the beat. And as a conductor, I said, I can't conduct this in 4/4. If I do this in 4/4, the orchestra's going to be wrong the whole time. I'm going to be wrong. We're going to look silly. I'm going to put the beats, with the principal beats, the principal events on the beat. And in doing that, it becomes in multimeters. It's 5/8, it's 7/8, it's 3/4, it's 4/4. It's all mixed up in different things. And then it becomes a piece that everyone in the room can understand.
That's cool.
Was I scared? Yeah.
I grew up on a hog farm in Waltham, and so I spent a lot of time in Austin, and I was at Blooming Prairie High School. That's where I went to school. Took lessons from Sue Radloff, who's the concertmaster for Austin Symphony, which is awesome for me. My mom was all about music when I was growing up. She would sing, and she didn't play any instruments, but she sang all the time, and so we would sing in the car. And then she started playing Vivaldi a lot in the car, the Four Seasons, and I loved it. And I was like 4, you know. And she would say, do you want to play one of those instruments? And I said, yeah. Which one? That one. I call it jazz grass art rock. We pull from many, many different musical places or boxes, and we put them all together in a very open box. So, I mean, there are jazz progressions, kind of some jazz melodies in there. There are cowboy elements, bluegrassy elements, and then also rock and progressive rock, and world music too. I am a violinist and a fiddler, I guess, you know, because in GCO, Dan will come with some written lines. Like one of the pieces we're playing with the Austin Symphony is called Broken Marionette. It's gorgeous.
Well, I think everyone understands that if orchestras are going to survive in the 21st century, that the repertoire has to blend in and become more expanded. It needs to have a popular element. It needs to have a world element. It needs to, and at the same time, be faithful to its core repertoire and make sure that everyone understands that we love that music and it's always our foundation. And the end of Broken Marionette is so fun.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, it has this, I don't know how to describe this riff, other than it's a riff.
I always thought it was like very Stravinsky, that
you
last
like that?
part. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I like that.
We were like, how should we end it? You know, you always have to figure out how to end a piece of music. And I think we were like, hey, let's try a Rush ending.
Rush. Yeah. I've never even heard of this.
Because they do that on Bytor and the Snow Dog, right?
What's Rush? What's Rush? And then I look up and there's XYZ and there's like a...
YYZ.
YYZ? I don't know, something. And it was fun.
I love Rush.
It was fun to listen to this unusual music. It is to hear rock and roll that doesn't sound 4 beats to a measure.
Sure, yeah, yeah. I would just hope that they walk away feeling inspired and feeling like, wow, that was just really cool. I'm happy that I got to see it.
There's something powerful and immediate about performances of live orchestral and art rock music. You can't get it off a CD. I walk into a room where an orchestra's playing, and the first moment almost always knocks me over. It's just, what a sound. What a world.
Yeah.
It's a great way to make a living, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
The Vintage Band Festival is an exciting international music event held in Northfield. The goal of the festival is to celebrate the music and the instruments of past eras. You may not recognize the songs, but they just might have been familiar to your ancestors.
The idea of this festival in Northfield, which is a beautiful little river town in southern Minnesota, is that we use the entire city as a performance space. My name is Paul Niemistow, and I'm the artistic director of the Vintage Band Festival here in Northfield, Minnesota, and also I'm the director of a Finnish-American brass band called Boys of America. Other venues around town, both outdoor and indoor, become places where we can have many bands. This year we're having 30 bands. They're not only playing in Northfield, they're also playing in other towns around the area. So there's a lot of places where things are happening, and we put it all together so that we can celebrate the sense of community beauty in the outdoors and the fact that that's a place where music can be made. It's a great chance for the community to get together around old traditions and music that is not often heard anymore because the instruments are all in storage. But people pull them out of storage and create bands like they were in the 1860s and the 1880s. Civil War era music is like many things that were created during the Civil War. It happened really fast. So before the war, there were some community bands around and they were playing on some older instruments. The Civil War happened at about the same time that valves were invented for brass, which made valves articulating scalar material rather than just overtones like a bugle. All of a sudden, that instrument could be brought outside. It would make much more sound than a clarinet or a flute. So then, just at the time when they were really needed, the Civil War created an opportunity for bands to develop. This festival began as an idea about 2004 when I decided to invite some scholars to Northfield to form a conference about historic brass music. And at the time that we decided to do that, we then wanted to have some music to accompany the scholarly activity. And I started to invite some bands to come by to play for this international crowd. And all of a sudden, the number of bands grew to the point where the festival was created, and the conference, in fact, was embedded within the festival rather than the other way around. That's how it got started.
I'm a French horn player, so this is just, it's similar to the French horn, but it's a lot mellower sound. It's a lot of fun to play.
When you hear the music played by original instruments, you have a sense of return to another time.